Let's go over how to automate 90% of your financial decisions, even if you're not that disciplined. This is the system I built for myself to grow wealth on autopilot. And so in this video, we're going to go over what to automate, what not to automate, and I'm holding nothing back. We're also going to go over how we automate. And so if you've watched my optimization video, you'll know that there are only 4 things we can optimize for. We can optimize for giving. We can optimize for paying what we owe to other people, like debt. We can optimize for accumulation, like growing wealth. And we can optimize our spending that affects our current lifestyle. And so this process of automation is for anyone who has figured out the cash flows, the exact amounts that they need to optimize for each of these giving, owing, accumulating, and living categories. Assuming you figured it out, here's how you can optimize your financial decisions so you don't self-sabotage yourself. Because the reality is most people's financial setups are horrible, and that is why they're broke. It's because companies like Visa and banks spend hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars into figuring out consumer behavior, into figuring out how they can get you to spend more money, put more money on your credit card, and borrow more money. Because frankly, that is capitalism and that is how they make their money. So without further ado, let's go over most people's financial setup. And if this is your financial setup, there is no wonder why you're not building wealth, right? This is the way that the big corporations want you to set it up, right? And so you have your income, right? Money is coming in, and let's pretend you have an employer match 401k, right? Maybe you're contributing to the 401k, maybe you're not, that's okay. But if you were contributing to a 401k, it would come out directly from your income. Whatever is left of this income goes into a bank account. And in this bank account, you have savings, you have checking, and maybe you even have your emergency fund. And so from this bank account, you take care of your spending. And this spending can either happen through a credit card, through a debit card, or cash. Most people use a credit card. Now within here is also debt repayment. And so this could be student loans, this could be a mortgage, or even a personal loan. Now, obviously, if you're using a credit card, then debt repayment would also include credit card. And if you don't pay your credit cards off every single month, then that debt is growing. And so if you're investing at all, here's what usually happens. You put your money in a brokerage account. So I'm just going to say brokerage. And then from your brokerage account, you invest. This is the financial setup that will leave most people broke. Unless you're extremely disciplined, this setup is going to leave you broke. Do you see why? I'll give you a moment as I draw these triangles. Do you see why? Let me tell you why. First of all, what builds wealth? Well, we know investing builds wealth. Right? Great. So we want to invest for the long term. We want to build wealth. We want to retire a millionaire. Fantastic. But we need to pay our debts and we need to live, right? And so we're constantly making all of these decisions. And so can you see what decision is the easiest to make, right? If you wanted to make the decision to either invest, repay debt, or spend, which decision is it the easiest to make? Well, let me break it down for you. Investing is not the easiest decision to make. Why? It's because it takes 2 steps. You have to put money into a brokerage or transfer to another account, and you have to decide. So this is a transfer, and this is a decision. You have to make a decision on like what to invest in. And so the decision really is between spending and debt repayment. Now, if you have debt at the first place, that's probably going to be your priority. Your priority is probably not going to be investing. It's probably going to be debt repayment. And so if this is your decision, then you're like, hey, there's only one step and one step, right? So it's just as easy for me to spend my money as it is for me to repay my debt, right? Wrong. And the reason is because spending gives us short term gratification, right? Spending money makes us happy, right? And that's okay. Debt repayment gives us long term gratification, right? Paying back your debt, meeting your payments, literally does not change your life in the short term, but it will in the long term when you get rid of that debt. And you know what? Humans love short term gratification. And so, of all of these decisions that you can make with your money, this is the easiest one: spending. And so, the result is we overspend. And guess what? When we overspend, our emergency fund goes down, right? Sometimes we're literally drawing money from our emergency fund to spend. No wonder so many people are broke. It's because the system is literally rigged against them. And so automation is about setting up a system that works for you and not against you. And so I split this into two phases. So phase one is when we have debt. So we have debt, and this excluding mortgage or any debt below 5%, right? If for some reason you have debt below 5% interest rate, then I guess you can keep it for a while, right? But you still want to meet payments. But if you're in this situation and you have debt that exceeds 5%, debt that isn't a mortgage, like you have, for example, credit card debt or personal loan or student loans or car debt, then you're in phase one and you need to get rid of your debt before you can start building wealth. And so we're not even thinking about investing at this point. We're thinking about how do we set up our spending and debt repayments in a way that is effective and works for us. Okay. And so we have the same situation, right? We have income, and this goes to a 401k, employer match. Great. We don't worry about that. Whatever money we have left, this goes into what I call a fixed cash flow account. And so this will probably end up being your current bank account if you want to set this up for yourself. And so what's a fixed cash flow account? Well, it means every single cash flow that flows from this bank account is fixed because it's been optimized. And so after optimizing your cash flows, exactly how much money you should be paying back towards your debt, your monthly fixed expenses, how much money you want to contribute to your emergency fund to build a 1 month or 6 month emergency fund. What we're going to do is we're going to set up a high yield savings account. So this is going to be for your emergency fund and future spending, right? If you're not paying back debt, if debt is not that big of a deal in your financial life right now, and you want to save up for a vacation or something, right? This would be done in a high yield savings account. So you have an emergency fund, high yield savings account, and then you have debt repayment, right? So exactly how much you have to pay for your mortgage every single month. So you have debt repayment and you have fixed current spending. And so what is fixed current spending? This could be an insurance policy. This could be rent. This could be like pet food. Just like things you can put number on every single month. And the good part is we can put this on a credit card because we know exactly how much we're going to spend on it every month. With our spending, we can set up subscriptions. You can literally set up a subscription. If you need pet food every single month, you can literally set up a subscription that will automatically charge your credit card every single month. And so the exact amount that will go through your credit card every single month for the most part. And so notice that the cool thing about this setup, this is automated. Debt repayment is automated. You set up automatic transfers to repay debt every single month. You set up automatic transfers to fixed current spending that you're going to spend every single month. And you set up automatic transfers that will help you either save towards something nice over the next 12 months or 6 months or 3 months, or you're saving towards an emergency fund. And so all of this is automated. Now, if you've done all of these things, you should have some amount of money left. Whatever is left, by the way, this is also automated. Whatever's left will go into a discretionary current spending. And so this, let me draw it out for you. This, everything here, bank 1, right? Probably your current bank. This is bank 2. And in all likelihood, this is probably something that will be able to double up as a brokerage in the future when you do your investing. Your discretionary current spending, this is bank 3. And so from here, you can split everything up into joint spending. You can split everything up into your spending, right? You can split it up into your spouse. You can have kids, right? And so this is your discretionary. And so discretionary is stuff like restaurants, clothing, right? Entertainment would go down here. What the cool part about this is everything else is automated. And so the only thing you have to make decisions about are things in bank 3. And so within bank 3, you want to use a debit card or cash only. You do not want to open a credit card at this bank at all, period. And so most people get paid on a bi-weekly basis, but for our planning, it's a lot easier to plan weekly. And so our frequency in this situation is going to be weekly. So there are weekly cash flows going into bank 3, maybe at the beginning of every single week. And so the exact amount every single week that you can spend on groceries, on restaurants, on clothing, on entertainment, so on and so forth. You can spend less one week and save up for something nice the next week, or you can spend less the whole month and save up for a shopping spree the next month. That's okay, right? Everything that happens here, you can do whatever you want with your money. Have fun. Why? Because everything else is automated. And so debt repayment will probably be a monthly thing. Paying off your credit cards will probably be a monthly thing. Saving, I like to set it up bi-weekly. As soon as your paycheck drops into your bank account in bank 1, there's an automatic transfer that takes it to bank 2, and it's untouched. So this is phase 1. If you have debt, this is the setup. What is phase 2? Well, phase 2 is just a little bit different. So phase 2, you have no consumer debt, so you can start building wealth. And so what we want in phase 2 is to make it extremely easy for us to build wealth. So our priority is no longer debt repayment. You might just have a mortgage payment there. Our priority is wealth building. And so the difference between phase 1 and phase 2 is where the flows happen. And so your income will go directly to this brokerage account. And then because you still know your fixed monthly mortgage, your fixed monthly credit card, you're going to set up a monthly transfer to your fixed cash flow account that will automatically pay your debts and that will automatically pay off your credit card. From this account now, instead of your discretionary spending coming from your fixed cash flow account, now your discretionary spending is going to come from your brokerage account. And so what are we doing? We're moving even further away from debt repayment, right? And our credit cards, we're making it even further away from us. So we can make it easier for us to do what? To invest. And guess what? Investing, this is also automated. Frequency, bi-weekly. Every time you get paid, part of that money just goes towards your investments. Optimized for growth. This is wealth building. If you want to retire a millionaire, this is what you need to do. So this is it. This is the full system for automating your cash flows in a way that takes advantage of behavioral science to make it harder for you to make bad money decisions. And if you need help with this process, reach out, send me a DM, and we'll talk.